we are going to go over and review some products. So before we get into the actual products, I just want to share that the reason why I review Montessori toys on this page is because Montessori toys in particular are really designed for skills development for young children, and they are different from regular toys that just look nice, are just colorful, but don't really serve a greater purpose. The first toy that I am going to review, which is the Giggles Montessori wooden reading blocks and math educational toy. So you can see the packaging. This toy has 3 aspects to it. So this is quite a small box, but you get a lot out of this. So first you can get these reading blocks. So they're here to teach vowels to children. So you have the A, E, I, O, and U. And then what you have your child do with them is they just really flip it around, and any way that you form the letters, they will form a real word. So this is good for children who are starting to form basic words. I think that it's best to start with 3-letter words, like the basic ones with a vowel, so that you're teaching them vowels at the same time. So this is very smooth. You won't worry about your child getting any blisters from this, or splinters, I mean. So it's very loose but secure enough that it won't come off. So they won't have a hard time trying to twist it around. And I think that's really important, and it encourages them to use it more. So if your child has any siblings, they can play with it together, or if you want to bring this to the classroom, they can interact with other children using these reading blocks. So that's for the reading blocks. So what I'm showing you right now is basically the math aspect of it. So I didn't really organize it by color, but when you get the toy, it comes in the right place. All the colors are in the right place, so you kind of start getting them familiarized with colors, and then later on you can teach them how to count. So 2 yellow sticks. It's good for their memory. It's good to start them with basic math. So when they're ready, you can move on to the blocks. So before getting into the actual numbers, you can use these counting sticks and then say, for example, what is 2 yellow sticks plus 3 green sticks? And then you'd have your child just kind of get the right blocks. It equals 5. So this is something that you would place on an activity table. And then I think that the size of this is perfect. It is small enough for them to hold themselves and to put away themselves. And I think that it's really important that toys for young children are small enough for them to really move around with, so that when it's cleanup time, you can get them responsible and involved in the process. So just like the reading blocks that I showed earlier, this part of the same toy is also very smooth. The wood will not give your child any splinters. So I think that's really important, and at least you don't have to worry about any toxins because it's wood, plus the color sticks are painted with water-based paint, and that's how Giggles Montessori seems to really operate, that they are very particular about materials used for their toys to keep children safe, because they have sensitive skin. And of course, supervise your children, but in the event that it kind of gets in their mouth, you won't have to worry about them ingesting any toxic paint, because like I mentioned, it's water-based. So with that being said, I will put this part of the toy away for now, and lastly, from the same toy, you also get these reading cards. So there are basically two ways to use them. You get like a pair of the same word and picture, but the difference between them is that one of them actually has something that you can rip on the bottom. So you will start by familiarizing your child with the word and the photo, and once they memorize it, you can kind of move on to the more complicated one. And then you'll just ask your child, can you find the photo of the cat? And then they'll find this for you, or the other way around, what is this? And then they can say it's the cat. So you would just rip this off and then kind of separate them so that they can look for it themselves. So yeah, you start them with the intact card, and then you move on to this later when you feel like they have a good grasp of all the cards. So there are so many. There's kit, pig, bin, pen, bib. So that, you know, there's just so many of them that your child will get familiar with some basic 3-letter words, which is of course where you start them when they're starting to form words of their own. So the next toy I'm going to review is the Giggles Montessori, again, another Giggles Montessori toy. They're wooden carrots, harvest, and magnetic catchworm set. So most toys that you see with the carrot harvest one, that's a standalone toy. This one is a set. So I think that's an advantage because, you know, children kind of grow out of toys easily, but then with this you get more value for your money. So it's a set, but it's in a quite compact box. It's easy to open so that your child can get involved in opening it and cleaning up themselves. So it comes in this like wooden block, and then you have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these are 7 carrots of different shapes, and on the top this is a felt material, and then they are also painted with water-based paint. So what this teaches is like spatial awareness and understanding that different sizes of the carrots, like they won't fit in every single hole. So I can read more about it actually. Let me read about the carrot harvest toy. And I believe that this is also for developing confidence, that they can get the right size and the right hole. So just a simple example, if you get this thick carrot, you can't really fit it into the smaller hole. Yes, you can fit the smaller carrot in the big hole, but it's not really a match. So if your child is like really young, I believe that 1-year-olds play with this already. You know, this is gonna keep them busy and gonna keep them focused on accomplishing the task of putting all the carrots in the right spot. So yeah, I'll also read about it. So it says here that it fosters brain development, coordination, and confidence. So it's pretty much what I mentioned earlier. So this is part one, and next is the magnetic catchworm toy. And this one I find very cute. I like the magic stick, as it's called, and the magnet in the stick is very safe. It's not coming out in a way that you would worry that it might get detached and then ingested. It's stuck inside. So same with the worm. The worm's magnets are embedded. It's only visible just enough to get the magnetic the magnetic thing. So what they do is they just, you know, choose whatever they grab it, and then the suction is strong enough, and then they kind of take it out. Children have a habit of taking all of them out and then trying to put them back inside, and this is for their motor skills. Imagine like a 1 to 2 year old playing with this. Their wrists are still kind of wobbly, and they are still developing their skills of fitting things in the right spots. So it will take them a bit of practice to get it in the hole, and then when they're done, they can kind of just shift their hand to the side to release the magnet. And then this is also a good opportunity for you to teach them different colors. So ask them, can you get me the blue worm? Can you get me the red worm? And so on and so forth. So it's good for colors, it's good for motor skills, and then once they're kind of done with all of the holes on top, there is this additional hole in the front. So this is kind of a different motor movement for them to learn about, and it's a little bit harder to get it in here. See, I dropped it. It's a bit harder to get it in here after they get used to using it so much on the top. So once they get it in the hole, they'll, again, same thing, release it, and then they can put it back on top. I think it's more secure here. And this is fun. Like you can observe your child playing with this for hours, really. For us, it looks very simple. This is not really something that would spark our attention, but put yourself in the shoes of a young child that is just starting to develop these skills. This keeps them very busy. So with that being said, again, this is 2 toys in one set. So it's the carrot harvest and then the worm catcher toy, and they both fit perfectly in this small box. So because it opens up widely, it's easy for you to get your child involved in the cleanup, and then it's easy to close and open as well. So there's just this little flap here that you just have to secure. There you go. It's small enough for you to just put in the corner of the room. I'm sure that you're aware of children. They ask for these huge toys and they get sick of them, but this keeps kids busy for hours and it doesn't take up too much space at home.